This is going to be a great conversation. You probably have a lot more to say than I do, but I just feel sometimes I feel like I don't fit in for in this community.
Yeah.
Because it's privilege is what it is. Honestly, I'm not ashamed to say that. It's not a shameful thing, but that's what it is. And I'm sure many women have this same feeling because so I had a gay uncle. I live in a very liberal area. Then like the part where you couldn't do anything about it for a really, really long time. That's not what happened to me.
Yeah.
And so I have this ignorance about it that is unfortunate. It's not unfortunate. It's just, it feels unfair that a lot of people have to go through the dangers of being gay or queer. It's so dangerous. It still is very dangerous. And I never had to deal with that. And so I feel sometimes like when there's Pride Week or Pride parades or whatever, I feel like I don't belong marching because I never suffered for this. I understand that like I have to like march for the people who have or had to or lost their lives. And I almost, it feels like guilt or something.
Yeah.
I was just like so comfortable with my sexuality as a kid. I never gave myself a definition. I never said it out loud because I literally can remember thinking that every single person was this way. Literally, I literally thought, I remember I was in second grade and I was trying to like get my friend at the time. This is way before puberty. I had my best friend. I was like trying to like get her to play like House Romeo and Juliet, like kids do.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that we had to be male or female. Like we could both be girls and still play house. Like I just did not care. I had crushes on only the women in my life, like teachers and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And girls my age. And then in high school, I think just like the banter of like your parents, do you like it because you sexualize children by accident. So like, oh, you're such a girl, you're gonna get all the boys to this and that. And I think enough of that kind of morphed me into something I wasn't. And I didn't realize it until high school. And then in high school, I was extremely, extremely sad of and jealous of lesbian couple in my school. Like I so wanted to just be them. I was so jealous.
So they were like
so jealous.
Completely out couple in high school.
There was gay. My high school, what do you call him? Class president was gay.
Jealous.
I mean, it was just like he was the most popular boy in school, and he was a flaming gay. Like we're just like, and of course there were children who were, you know, with the church and were against LGBT community, and that had just became a thing when I was in high school. That phrase.
Yeah.
And gay marriage and all of that, and so I never had to deal with the scrutiny because I never questioned it.
Yeah.
My sexuality until I was somehow subconsciously morphed into being a straight girl.
Yeah.
And then, so it just was deep inside me, but it wasn't like terrifying. If I was to decide to like be that lesbian couple and like be out with a woman, I wasn't terrified. I was proud.
Yeah.
I was like, if I ever get the courage to come out one day, I'll be proud. I was like, there was like no ounce of like, oh, will my family still love me? Will I get killed? Will I get murdered? Like, will I get stalked? Will people follow me home? You know, like none of that. Never once did I fear anything. And it's just what it is.
Do you think that, you know, your uncle factored into that because your family understood it? Yeah. And, you know, there was exposure to your family and, you know, at a young age, you understood that.
Zero.
Yeah.
They treated him zero different.
Love that.
No gay jokes. Like, and if they went over my head, and he has a great sense of humor. So I'm sure if they did, he laughed or to put them in their place. Cause he also can do that too.
Even better.
And because I had an uncle that was gay, I also don't think that I put like gay people into a category. So like, you know how somebody's like, oh my God, that person's definitely gay. Like, what does that mean?
Right.
I hate that because like, how would you wouldn't know. Like, what does that even mean? What do you mean?
I mean, let's be real. I
I
mean,
understand. I know. But for
there
me at that
are,
young age, I'm like,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. When you are looking up at other adults, I don't think it's as obvious. I will say though, when I became more comfortable with myself and, I can be flamboyant at times and certainly have a feminine side, small children would frighten me because they would always ask me like if I was gay, and I wasn't out
yeah.
at the time. So I would like distance myself from all children because I just knew that question was coming and I didn't want to address it. So
See, that's the thing that I'm talking about. Was such a difference. It is, we can identify in the same exact group of people, right?
yeah,
This community, but we have completely different, complete night and day
night and day,
experiences.
night and day for sure. And I really can't talk about that experience and coming to terms with myself really without my addiction, just because it's they go hand in hand with some things, because I went through a period of like internalized homophobia as well. I hated who I
Mm.
was, that coupled with this idea that, going back to that quote or that article that I read, this difference or this negative connotation, I wanted to stuff it down, and I thought for a long time I would never tell a soul. So in high school, that's really the reason that I started drinking, was to start to kill those feelings and to try to have a glimpse or a small sense of normalcy. And I hate to say that like alcohol probably saved my life, but it did for a portion of time until it stopped working and then fucking stabbed me in the back and almost killed me. But yeah, I think internalized homophobia is more common than one would think. And I think that the suicide rates and the addiction rates in the queer community are just astronomical and so sad. So everyone has their own story to tell, and I think they're each special.
That one of the most shocking things that somebody has had the balls to say to me,
The audacity.
the audacity to say to me, and I have had this more than one time. Do you think that your alcoholism was like that was why you were like with women, just because you were
Oh,
like wasted?
Jesus Christ.
And that is coming from a person who is straighter than straight. And like these people don't understand, as much as you love rubbing your face and all the balls in the cock, do that to a vagina and tell me that just because you're drunk is why you like it.
Is
It
that,
takes a lot more than alcohol to want to put your face between someone's legs.
yeah.
You have to really like that shit. Why would you do that for hours on end? Just because you're drunk?
No, the audacity.
Do you really think that you were a lesbian, or do you just think that it was just like your journey with alcohol? And do you think that maybe being drunk was like a way for you to like be with the pussy? Or do you think you really like it? Do you think that if you got, because you married a man now and you're sober, do you think you'll be straight forever?
Who the fuck said I'm straight because I married a man?
She queer, everybody.
It's just like, that's the thing is, I don't care.
Yeah.
What a weird question. How
Yeah.
are we still doing this? How are you still asking these questions to strangers? How? And how is it shameful for me to tell you the truth about me? That's why I'm so ignorant, because I didn't have to deal with the repercussion of it. I mean, I did. Like, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't have some scary nights. I went through a whole thing when I first thought that I came out, right? I first of all, I'm a demisexual. That's how I identify myself. What? Go ahead. What?
Do you want to tell us what that is?
Well, yeah, because why?
Because as a queer individual who is realizing I am still naive in some aspects, I did not know what it was until you told me. So
No, I didn't until a couple months ago.
yeah.
Because I never defined it. Like I told you, as a kid, I never defined it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am attracted to both men and women and all gender. If you're out there listening to this podcast and you've had a one night stand with me, you cannot look me in the eyes through this podcast and tell me that I had fun, because you know I did not. I cannot do it.
Yeah.
I've had people walk out of the room.
Yeah.
During. And I've had people go, "You're not into this." And I go, "I know. I'm so sorry. Pick up my things and leave." I can't do it. I can't. So I at one time I just stopped. At a certain age, I just stopped.
That reminds me of an amazing story. I've had sex with exactly one female in my life. I had a girlfriend at senior year of high school, and the same thing happened to me. We were like mid penetration, and I was just
stop saying that word. Oh my God, I can't. I'm like a little kid with that word.
I was like, I can't do this.
I feel like I'm in like health class.
We had
penetration. Just say penetration. Mid penetration.
We were mid penetration, and I mean, we had been dating and like having sex for like months at this point, but and it just got to the point where it was like, of course, I wanted to have sex with somebody.
God, right?
And after like several times, it was just like, and that happened, and that was the last time we did it.
Did she say that to you? Like, you're not into this?
Well, I said it first, and she was like, I can tell.
Yeah, well, that's because you were gay as you've ever gay and been gay
as anyone's ever gayed before, but
so
still one of my best friends.
That's really sweet that she's
25 years later. Yeah.
25 years later, because you're old as fuck.
Fuck yeah. Still in my 30s. Bruh.
That was the last time you ever been with a woman?
Mm-hmm. What is wrong with you?
I can't. That leaves me hanging so bad.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. To the story.
Stop. Yeah.
I'm not saying that it wasn't ever dangerous to be me.
Yeah.
Or that it currently is. Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
Please.
Do you think I look like a lesbian? Because at the time I identified that way.
Mm-hmm. I do not think you look like a lesbian.
When I came out.
Yeah.
I thought that I had to. And I had one of the meanest things ever said to me by an ex, was that I was like a chameleon, and that anybody that I date, I morph into them, which, by the way, compliment. That's a fucking compliment. If I ever heard one in my life, that's a compliment.
Yeah. So thank you.
That's nice. I would think, like, I understand people want their own style and all of that stuff, but like, coming from a person who was clearly only dating people who they were already deeply, madly in love with this friendship. You obviously put these people on a pedestal. I've obviously had this like obsession or this crush for a very, very long time. Of course, there's going to be ways that a person would like chameleon themselves to make them seem more attracted to me.
Yeah.
That's natural for a person to do that, especially a 21-year-old.
Demisexual.
Duh.
Yeah.
Demisexual. Of course it would be. So I'm not ashamed of that, but that really hurt my feelings a long time ago. I just want to put that out there for one last time. I look like this. I'm not the girliest woman, but when I go out, I like to wear makeup, and I like to wear my little skimpy outfits, whatever. And sometimes I like to look like this when I go out. This is how I've always been. My
bestie Kelsey called you gorgeous when I sent her.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
I could wear a baseball cap and 2 braids and swishy pants that pull away as a kid. Or I could be in a mini skirt with like a tank top and like makeup on. I was like the definition of a chameleon. I've always been that way.
Yeah.
Going out with your girlfriend looking like this attracts men to say whatever the fuck they want to you, because now you're this sex thing that they've seen on porn. They see 2 beautiful women together, holding hands or kissing, having drinks. They cannot understand. Some people just cannot understand how you really are not just doing this for the sex, and that there's a connection, there's love, there's a whole deep rooted relationship. There's an actual relationship going on. That's not possible for some people to understand. And so with that comes a lot of really mean things. Like, people will come up to me with my girlfriend and say things like, do you want me to come back with you to your place and record this for you? Do you need somebody to help you? Are you sure you guys haven't had the right dick?
Right.
Can I come be your one dick? Are you gold star lesbians, or can I be your first dick tonight? Wow, you're both so beautiful. How could you possibly be together? You're both so gorgeous. You're such a waste. So yes, I've had all of those things said to me repeatedly for many, 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 many years. All of them happened at a bar stool. Not one of them happened anywhere besides a bar stool. And I'll tell you that one more time. Never did that happen to me at a grocery store or on an airplane or, at the beach, other places where you're out when it's obvious. But it's always at a bar stool. So the people are there, and I have had like my fair of like rough nights where I've been really upset, because I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm kind of like a Chihuahua or a Yorkie, where you look at them and you're like, that's a cute dog, but if I pet it, I'll probably die.
Yeah.
And that's my face.
Got
so in the public, especially when I was drinking. So I've gotten in a lot of trouble when people have said things like that. That's why I'm saying the privilege is there. And that's why I'm saying I feel like I can't even begin to try to understand what you've been through, because that would be a disservice to your experience. So I just kind of identify in the community over here. Like, I just don't want to be.
Just because that's my experience, though, I don't think it should lessen yours either. I mean, listen, you've been through shit as well. I mean, there's always this level of discrimination in the queer community, and we've made leaps and bounds, but will it ever be equal? I don't know.
I believe it will.
I hope it will. I really hope that it will.
I believe that history will repeat itself, and everybody will have girlfriends and boyfriends, and everybody will just be having sex in their front lawn.
Yes. Can't wait for that.
It's like ancient Rome.
Sign me up. But then we also have to poop in the alley, though.
No, we'll have toilets. Actually, by then they'll just come to your house once a month and suck the shit out with this like tube.
Okay, good. Oh,
you don't even have to look at it, and you can like be on your iPhone while they're doing it. It's not a big deal. TikTok will be inside your eyelids. It's going to be great.
Oh, I love that.
No, but yes, I understand what you're saying. So I'm glad we're having the conversation, because I've never had the conversation with somebody in the community. I've never had this conversation with a gay man.
Yeah.
Because of my fear of sounding ignorant. I don't know how to say it the right way without sounding like insensitive, because it's coming from a place of just like inexperience. That's what and like fear and like sadness for something that didn't happen.
How many long-term relationships were you in with women?
2. I really, 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 really like the microphone.
I know, I can tell.
Like more than anything in my whole life.
Yes.
Like this, I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
For a very long time, Nathan.
Are you going to start doing ASMR lives every night?
I cannot stand.
Oh my God, the worst, right?
Ever seen my joke video about it?
Oh, have I?
You got to scroll back to the Lynn playlist and go find the one where she does it.
Oh, I think I have.
She's so super loud. She doesn't understand. Yeah. And she doesn't know how to say it. She calls it ASQR, ASBR. She doesn't know what she's saying.
I love it.
Anyway, I've been with two women, and they were both long-term-ish. The first one was like really heartbreaking.
Yeah. Were they alcohol fueled, and not in the way that other people have asked you that question?
It's such a rude question.
I'm asking as being in a loving relationship with someone you are committed to and spending your life with. Was it semi-toxic and fueled by alcohol? Not do you like pussy because you were drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Alcohol driven.
Yeah.
That was the biggest common denominator.
Yeah, same. I've only been in 2 long-term relationships in my entire life.
My current relationship is the longest relationship I've ever been in. Do you like a really, really like like manly man.
Yes.
I like my men to have scars.
Yes.
My husband has scars on his face.
Mm-hmm.
You know the movie Venom?
Do I? I don't think I do. No. Who's in it?
That actor is like my guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Let me get his name for you.
No, I don't know Venom. And yes, I do like a manly man, but also that's going to be the most manly gay man.
Really?
You don't say.
Wait. Oh, Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Yeah. So you need to have like a jaw that looks a little off, a nose that looks like it got punched.
Couple times. You know who my celebrity crush has been for a long time, although he's starting to really annoy me? Andy Cohen. Like Silver Daddy.
The dark eyes.
In the suit. Yeah. His crooked eye. He's like he's mask, you know.
So like if you looked really quick, you'd think that was my husband anyway.
I've only seen grainy 8mm footage of your husband.
Grainy.
He's
really good looking. I have a whole, it's just, that's what I'm saying. I don't have a type because of my sexuality. Someone's like, what's your type? I'm like,
I don't really have a type
know.
either.
But if I had to choose, somebody's asked me, what's your type? I'm like, if I had to tell you what kind of man that I am most attracted to, I guess I'd have to say my husband, who looks like, if you need a reference to a celebrity, this guy, Venom,
Tom Hardy.
Dude, Tom Hardy. Yeah, I just forgot his name. But in reality, though, if you line up, okay,
line them up.
People that I've dated, all the men and women, boys and girls, because we'll talk about little like before
little Chelsea.
I was 21. Yeah, you line them all up. It looks like a fucking greeting card for "We Are the World."
I love that. Same here, actually.
So I don't have a type. My type is, do you love me unconditionally? Have we been friends for 6 years?
Yes. That's not a requirement for me, obviously, but my type is a genuine, kind person who adores me. That's my fucking type.
Yeah.
You can be black, white, purple, yellow, red, green, or blue.
I didn't hear pink.
Can't be pink.
Shit.
Kidding. You can't be.
I know. Every sixth Tuesday, I turn pink.
Oh.
So we wouldn't work.
We're done. This is done.
Every sixth Tuesday.
We're signing off here, people.
I got asked something the other day from somebody, one of my friends, who I haven't talked to in a really, really long time. We were catching up, and she was asking me about being married and if I think about other people.
Yeah.
Like, who's your crush? Who's this? Who's that? Like, do you ever think about an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend?
Like your poker face.
Right. I forget how we got on the topic. Oh, like a backup plan or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am so embarrassed to answer this. And they were like, what? And I said, absolutely not. I am a freak. I feel like a freak. Every person I know, especially married people, have like that like person they think about, or sometimes it pops in their mind, or like, oh, that person's really, really good looking. Or like,
yeah,
can you believe so-and-so's husband? Do you see how gorgeous he is? Can you see so-and-so's wife? Can she fucking gorgeous?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I literally don't see it. I cannot see it. I don't see it. I don't care. When I need to think about things,
yes,
I think of my husband.
That's so cute.
And when I have dreams about things, I dream about my husband.
It's your husband.
Aww. And when I want to think about something sexual, I think about my husband. And it's like, is there something wrong with me? But that makes total sense for how I just told you in the beginning of this podcast with my sexuality. There's only room for one person that I could be intimate with, even in my wildest dreams. Nay, it's him. It's always him.
Oh,
literally
in your wildest dreams.
Damn it!
It's you. It's always been you.
God, Jesus.
God,
I can't even have my dreams.
Yes.
The man's everywhere. And no, I don't wander. I don't look at people's butts or boobs or penis bulges. I'm staring at my husband's face.
So cute.
It's so gross and weird. I feel like a freak. Isn't it like natural and normal to like look outside the lines?
Yeah.
Color outside.
Color outside the lines. Live a
can't.
little.
We should get you a Bumble account and make it a little bit
It's
easier.
so much work. I can't commit. You know how many times I've downloaded and deleted and ghosted people? It's so much work. Have you ever online dated?
Once.
It is a full-time fucking job.
I went on the first date that somebody answered and I had a great time.
Okay.
We dated for like a week.
All right. I would take that at this point.
It was a lot of fun too. It was fun.
Was it a lady or a gentleman? A lady. A woman. Oh.
I was really, 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 really at the point where I didn't want. So at the time when I first came back to live with my mom, I was 21. At the time, I thought that the way I had been living my life. So I was so confused about my sexuality, like honestly, until I had my son a couple of years ago. But at the time, I had thought that I was serially dating my friends because I didn't want to be alone.
Yeah.
That wasn't it. There was like a mutual thing between the woman I had just dated. She also like wanted to be with me. She was my friend first. And then the man before her, same deal. We were friends first and he wanted to be with me. And so we got together. And then I had thought that since those two things happened back to back, that I really needed to pump the brakes and not date someone who I had been friends with and just kind of go on a date, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I tried to do this dating thing and I went on the first date I went to and I deleted the app because I thought she was the one because I was like, I couldn't even do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. And like, and it wasn't, and I had to do the same thing you just said. I had to like disappear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I couldn't be with somebody I wasn't friends with. It was so hard for me to go against like my own natural order.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I realized that it wasn't about, I think that is kind of when I realized that it wasn't about gender, because I thought that any old girl at that time, I identified as a lesbian. So I thought any girl will get it on for me. And then it was her and then another one and then another one. I was like, okay, this is not, it's not women. So what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Because the first time I ever had been with a woman, I was like, this is what sex is. Okay. Thank you. I am a lesbian. Thank God I figured it out.
Found it.
And then I had I was with other women and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I'm broken.
And then my husband. And then all of a sudden I didn't want to be identified as a woman, straight woman married to a man. I was kind of like proud of that. I was actually kind of proud of it. I figured it out. I finally had figured it out. Like 5 years into being with my husband, I'm like, wait a minute. Because somebody's like, oh, what happens if your husband dies? Are you gonna like be with women again? I'm like, I don't know, because I'd have to. It's not about gender. Asshole.
I don't get it. People
Can you pass me the carrots?
Right.
Why are we having this conversation at Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I don't know if I would be with a woman or a man, and I hope that I would be happy. That's what I would hope.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Find happiness after losing your soulmate. Good the fuck luck.
Right. Ugh.
Who even asks that?
Yeah.
You want to make me think about me not being with the love of my life at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday? Why?
Yeah.
Why are you asking me this? But we will find you. We'll find you someone.
Okay.
People find their person when they're around me.
Oh, that's good to know. So how would you summarize our conversation? Or
I really enjoyed this. Did you enjoy it?
Oh my God, I loved it. But if someone's listening and struggling with their identity or thinking that they're alone or they're a freak, what would you say to them?
I would say that it is impossible to not find your groove or your setting or your place in a community that has literally nothing to do with anybody but yourself and your true happiness. And if you are looking to identify yourself and you're confused about it, stop trying to identify yourself, because it comes to you. It came to me over time. Just because everybody identifies a certain way and they're so beautifully comfortable in a certain word that makes them feel safe and grounded doesn't mean that that's everybody's story, because it is not mine. And if I exist, more people like me exist, and you can find comfort in knowing that it it shouldn't matter how we identify ourselves. What matters is you stay true to what is you. What do you feel? How do you want to be perceived? How do you want to love? How do you want to be loved? That's what matters. Because like I told you before, I didn't even know there was a word for it until I was 33, 32. And I was living beautifully fine and happy without being defined. And I could give it a definition or I couldn't, but what I know is it's Chelsea. And I need to make sure I'm in a space where I can openly be myself. That's my job, because I know I'm not the normal. So it's my job to pick myself up, put myself around people who will accept me for who I am, love me for who I am, let myself be free as much as they're free, and accept them in the same way, give the same respect back. I need to keep myself safe.
I love that.
Yeah. It's not black and white's what I'm saying. There's a reason why there's 19 fucking letters.
Exactly, right. And
you can add your own letter.
Keep adding
do whatever
them
you want
each day. And I think
whatever you need to do.
Yeah, beautifully said. I think I would just add to that. Yeah, like sort of how you were saying, it will come to you. You will find your people if you stay true to yourself and put out into the world what you want to receive back. You will find your people. You will find your group. You can be yourself, and it does get better. It gets better. It gets easier. It gets more beautiful. It gets all of those things, but hang in there because it gets better.
Oh my gosh, it gets so much better. And you'll feel this connection to yourself as a child. And it is strange and comforting to know that that person is finally thinking out loud. I think about that all the time. I'm like, I get to say the things I thought when I was a kid out loud now.
And that's a wrap on episode 2 of Unqualified Opinions with Chelsea and Nate. I had a countdown on my calendar, okay, senior year of high school, of when I was leaving for college, because I was like, I can have a boyfriend.
Oh my God, in college.
14 days. I can have a boyfriend in 3 days. Core memory unlocked.